If you're a non-native English speaker who sometimes struggle to listen and keep up with English as it's spoken by native or native level speakers, or if you sometimes struggle to pronounce English correctly yourself, this is for you. This is a bonus on a recently ended series I did on how to improve your English pronunciation. I explained to you that there are some features of connected speech which, if you come to know and understand, will help you to listen with less struggle and to speak English better yourself. Now, in the last video, I told you that there are sometimes subtle sounds that we insert in our speech to help us to move smoothly from one sound to another, whether within words or between words. I told you that they are the w sound, the y sound, and the intrusive r sound. I explained to you that the R sound, or rather the extent to which the R sound is used, depends on a person's accent. I focused on the W sound and the Y sound and gave examples of when you might hear those sounds in the words that we speak. In this video, I want to explain when to use which sound, because you may be wondering, how do I know when to use the W sound and when do I use the Y sound? So in this video, I'm going to explain to you what happens with the mouth position as we make these different sounds and why it is that we insert a particular sound in certain places. I told you in the last video that the sound you choose to use as a linking sound will depend on the sound that you are trying to move away from and the one you're trying to move into. I told you that it's similar to each of these sounds. And you may be wondering, how is it possible for one sound to be similar to two different sounds at the same time? Let me explain. Because the W sound and the Y sound are semi-vowel sounds, which means they have a similar sound to vowel sounds, we can use each of these sounds to join two different sounds because the mouth position that is required at the beginning of the linking sound is slightly different from the mouth position that is at the end of the sound. We are able to use the linking sound to join two different sounds because at the beginning of the linking sound, the mouth position is going to be the same as the sound that comes before it. By the time we get to the end of the linking sound, the mouth position is going to be the same or similar to the sound that follows it. We're going to look at some examples. I will demonstrate to you with my own mouth position how that's possible. The W sound. Notice the movement of my mouth, the position and movement of my mouth. W. W requires that the mouth be open, but only partially and in this position. That is why it follows sounds that also require that the mouth be in this position. And by the time we finish saying W, the mouth opens up a little more, and that's why we can now connect it to a following sound that also requires that the mouth be in a similar, slightly more open position. So the W sound comes after ooh and ooh and oh and ow. So by the time we finish saying oh and ooh and ow, our mouth would be in the position to start the W sound. And that's why I used the example of go into it in the last video to show the insertion of a subtle W sound between some words. So go, W, My mouth opens up a little, and so it's free to start saying into, go into. And by the time we get to at the end of the word, my mouth is again in the position of u, into, and again in the position where I can use the w sound to take into w, it. So rather than saying go into it, I would say go into it. Mouth position. Similarly, with the y sound, the mouth position that is required to make the sound is also one where the mouth is partially open, but in a slightly different position from the w sound. Whereas the w sound requires this, the y sound requires that the mouth be open in a wider way. Y. And that's why the y sound follows another set of sounds from the w sound. So we use the y sound after sounds such as e and a and I and oi, because a slightly wider, partially open mouth is required at the beginning of the y sound. And not only do we have a slightly open mouth position, but it's again slightly wider by the time we get to the end of the sound, which is why we can now attach another sound that also requires that slightly wider open mouth position. So if I were to use the example, the elephant in the room, it's an idiom, the elephant in the room. Rather than saying the elephant in the room, I would say the elephant in the room. The elephant, the elephant. So the mouth position of the y sound is perfect for joining the, yeah, and then at the end, perfect for joining elephant that follows, because the mouth position is similar to the sounds that I'm linking. So I hope that makes it clearer about why we use a particular linking sound in a particular place. We can't just say any sound we want, but it's a natural progression from one sound to the next because we're easing the movement of sound. Also remember that the same thing applies when we're looking at the insertion of subtle sounds within words. So remember me using the example of doing and opinion. Doing. Ooh. Doing. Doing. Opinion. Opinion. Y. My mouth is already in the perfect position to make the y sound. Opinion. The same thing applies even when we're joining a consonant sound with a vowel sound. For example, popular. Pop, we wouldn't say ular, but ular. Popular. It's smoother. Our mouth is already in the position that will allow us to ease into the oo sound. Popular. Popular. Now that I've taken the time to explain and to show you the mouth positions and why we use the specific linking sounds we use with particular sounds before and after, I hope that that will make it a little easier for you to follow along as you listen to English when native or native level speakers are speaking, and to produce, to speak English yourself with greater ease. I also took the time to put together a great resource for you. It's a free download. You can access that using the link below. Be sure to check it out so you can keep reminding yourself of the points I shared with you during the pronunciation improvement series. If you found this useful, please like and share it, and subscribe to my channel for new videos on English for non-native English speakers. I'm also inviting you to join my private Facebook group where I provide support and exclusive content. You can access that using the link below. I'm also inviting you to check out my free training video for persons who are interested in improving their English communication skills, going from the intermediate level to the advanced level. Until next time, I'm Marcia. This is English on a Platter, and it was my pleasure to serve you. Bye bye.